Yes, right now I'm going to be talking to you about one of my favorite action adventure films and one of my childhood favorites. This is a movie I watched constantly on VHS as a kid. I even dressed up as Zorro when I was like 6 years old. I love this movie, and still to this day, I always love it. And every time I watch it, it's always incredible. And that's, of course, 1998's The Mask of Zorro. Mask of Zorro is a movie that came out in 1998, and it's directed by Martin Campbell, who did some of the good James Bond movies and stuff. The movie stars a pretty good cast: Anthony Hopkins, Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and the music is composed by James Horner. And this is a great summer blockbuster. And if you guys are not familiar with the summer blockbusters in the late 90s, summer blockbusters were always smash hits, like in the 80s, early 90s, even the 70s, because Jaws in 1975 started the summer blockbuster. And there was just so many amazing, timeless classics that came out in the summertime. And summer was like the best time to release your films, because that's when you made the money. And just, these are the summer blockbusters that we all know and love. But during like the late 90s, a little bit after like Jurassic Park, Terminator 2, and some of those films, summer blockbusters were not doing well. A lot of them were tanking, and a lot of them just were not bringing in good box office numbers and stuff. And the summer blockbusters were almost like kind of dying out, which is just crazy. But I think in 1998, The Mask of Zorro almost pretty much brought the summer blockbuster back. Like, it was a fun action adventure film that not only did well critically, but it just killed it in the box office. And summer blockbusters were back. They were back. Fun, entertaining action films were back, coming out in the summertime. And still to this day, we have big, huge, epic summer blockbusters. And a lot of the thanks goes to Jaws in 1975 and The Mask of Zorro in 1998. The Mask of Zorro is a great story with great characters, and it's a film that just, I love. I love it. I love it so much, and it's a great revenge story, and it's just a really good story about this friendship and this student-teacher relationship between Hopkins and Antonio Banderas' character. So let's just get into the story. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to spoil a lot of it, so sorry. The movie takes place in 1821. This is during the Mexican War of Independence. The Mask of Zorro is like Titanic in a way. How Titanic is a fictional story within a real historical event. The Mask of Zorro is the same way. It is a real historical event with pretty much fictional characters, except a couple characters like Don Raphael and Captain Love, who are actually real characters. But this is a real event with some real people in it, but it is still a fictional story. Zorro was a fictional person, even though there was a Mexican hero that saved people, but wasn't quite to the extent as Zorro and stuff. So basically, there is a bad guy named Don Raphael, who is great in this movie, absolutely great in this movie. And he is basically from Spain, and he's trying to take over California. Spain is trying to take over California. California was originally, it was part of Mexico, but then Spain got it out, and they're basically taking over California and almost trying to take over Mexico. And Don Raphael is one of the people that is trying to help the Spanish fleet and take it over and stuff. And a lot of innocent Mexicans are dying, but there is a rogue hero, Zorro, who fights for the people and takes out Don Raphael's men. And the very beginning of the movie, you get these like great action sequences, and you get a really kick-ass scene between Zorro and the villain Don Raphael. It's really great.
You would murder 3 innocent men just to capture me?
I would murder 100 innocent men if it meant killing you.
3 men, 3 gods. A small memento of Mexico. Raphael. To remind you not to return.
Yeah, well, right off the bat, Zorro wants to retire. Anthony Hopkins wants to retire. And he's named Diego de la Vega is the name of his character. And he has a beautiful daughter, a beautiful wife. And he doesn't want to be Zorro anymore. And he just wants to live a peaceful life. But Don Raphael finds out who he is. And basically a lot of bad shit happens. His wife ends up dying because she tries to protect him. And De La Vega gets arrested and put into a prison for 20 years. And Don Raphael takes his daughter Elena and raises her as his own. That is like literally the first like 20 minutes of the film. And it's such a great and epic way to start the story. You instantly connect with Diego de la Vega. You love that he's a hero of the people, but he wants to live a peaceful life. And all this bad things happens to him. He did all this good for these people, but his karma ain't so good because Don Raphael basically is responsible for the death of his wife, and he takes his daughter Elena and he raises her as his own. Then we get, transported 20 years later, and then we meet our other main character, Alejandro, played by Antonio Banderas. And how he opens is great. He's with his older brother, and they basically pretend to be these people who are captive and stuff, and they're basically like con artists. They do crimes, but they work together to capture themselves so they can get their own bounty and escape. It's pretty great. It's a really good con and stuff. But again, Alejandro also has a pretty tragic opening and stuff because there's a soldier called Captain Love. He finds thieves and murderers, and he basically kills them and stuff, or he takes them in to become like slaves of the gold rush. So basically, Alejandro and his brother get captured by Captain Love, but Alejandro manages to escape, and his brother ends up shooting himself so he doesn't get captured. And then Captain Love chops his head off and takes it as a trophy. So Alejandro wants revenge on Captain Love, and that's where he meets Diego de la Vega. Because Diego de la Vega has been in prison for 20 years. And he manages this really cool escape plan, and he's escaped, and he wants revenge on Don Raphael. So there's these two men who want revenge. Alejandro wants revenge on Captain Love, and de la Vega wants revenge on Don Raphael. And they meet each other and at this bar, and Alejandro is very drunk and wants to, kill Captain Love, but he doesn't know how to fight and everything. And we get this really funny moment where de la Vega meets him, and Alejandro tries to fight him and stuff, and it's a really funny scene. So after that, de la Vega brings Alejandro to his old, basically Zorro base in a way. It's the Zorro cave, and he tells him that he used to be Zorro, and Alejandro remembers him and what Zorro did for the people of Mexico, and he agrees to train Alejandro so he can fight Captain Love and get his revenge and stuff. And it also gives de la Vega a purpose, and he has a soldier with him to take down Don Raphael. So we get this really awesome training montage. It's really cool, and how he trains them is really great.
Perfect. Do it again.
All that is just awesome, and eventually They get their horse Tornado back, and then Alejandro has to go undercover and to pretend to be a gentleman and gentleman of noble class, and he has to pretend to be a Don. And he basically has to become undercover and try to be friends with Don Raphael and Captain Love so he can find out what their planning is. Because Don Raphael has a really fucked up plan. He found a gold rush in California, and he's using Mexican slaves to dig through the gold rush so he can buy out California and make California an independent nation, and basically wants to go against Mexico and against Spain. It's a really messed up thing what he's doing, and Alejandro has to go undercover, become friends with them, and find out what they're doing and how they're doing this and how they can put a stop to all this. And while he's there, he meets Elena, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Alejandro almost kind of sparks this, like, kind of romance with her and stuff. It all starts at this, like, party and how he, like, introduces himself to all the villains and stuff, and then he does this, like, really nice dance sequence with Elena, Catherine Zeta-Jones' character. It's probably one of my favorite dance sequences in movies. Oh, yeah, just the sheer sexual tension of that scene is just great and stuff. And then Don Raphael shows Alejandro what his plan is and shows him the gold rush and what they're doing to these Mexican slaves. It is just barbaric and everything. And Alejandro and De La Vega have to put a stop to this, so Alejandro becomes the new Zorro and tries to put an end to this. And it starts off with this really awesome fight sequences when he goes to the place of Don Raphael and he does this like triple sword fight with Captain Love and Don Raphael and stuff. See, that part is just so he can get the map to the gold rush so he can put it into it and stuff. And De La Vega doesn't want to go with them because he just wants his daughter back. He's helped the people for a long time. Helping the people is what made him imprisoned for 20 years and made him lose everything. So he basically has this really cool confrontation scene with Don Raphael, and he basically tells Elena everything what happened and stuff. And it's a really tragic scene, actually. And then this leads to the epic showdown with the Gold Rush, and Zorro fights one-on-one with Captain Love, and De La Vega fights his one-on-one fight with Raphael, and it ends really sad. The two bad guys die, but De La Vega ends up dying as well, the OG Zorro, and it's just a really sad ending for him because he did all this work, he was in prison for all this time, and he never got to be a father to his daughter, and when he finally gets his daughter back, he ends up dying and stuff. And so yeah, that's basically the whole story of Zorro, and what makes me love the movie so much is its characters. The characters are really likable, the villains are really devious, and they're enjoyable to watch, and just the heroes, you want to root for these heroes and stuff. And I love revenge stories. Revenge stories can be really predictable and a little cliched sometimes, but this one is really, really good, and you care about these two lead characters and you want to see them get their revenge, and when they do get their revenge, it is incredibly satisfying. The acting is great. James Horner's score is absolutely epic. The soundtrack is terrific. The story is just awesome. I have no problems with this movie. This is an excellent summer blockbuster that I always grew up with, and I will never stop loving. It's incredible. Yes, they made a sequel. It is absolute trash. Just watch this one. If you've never seen it, definitely check this movie out. It is a epic film with amazing story and characters, and I've said that a million times, but I'll keep saying it. Love it. Fantastic. Check it out. So yeah. In the comments section, please tell me what are your thoughts and opinions on the 1998 Mask of Zorro. Are you a huge fan of it? Do you love it? If you've never seen it, if you haven't, definitely check it out. And yes, and as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.